We arrived in Singapore late one October evening, fresh from autumn in London, and despite being prepared for the changes in temperature, we were still taken aback by how hot and humid it was. As soon as we stepped off the plane, it was like somebody had turned a wet hairdryer on us. After checking in, we were eager to discover Singapore, so we set off on foot towards Marina Bay and Merlion Park via Chinatown, which was very close to our hotel. We'd happened to arrive in Singapore as the Formula One Grand Prix race was taking place. The city was really busy. We sat amongst the crowds and soaked up the atmosphere, listening to the noise of the cars above our head. The race uses Singapore streets, but it's designed so you can't see them from below in the unticketed areas. The Merlion is the symbol of Singapore, representing its history and its transformation from a small fishing village to a great world city. There are 6 Merlion statues in Singapore, but the one at Marina Bay is the original and the largest at over 8 metres tall. Incidentally, the name Singapore, more correctly Singapura, means Lion City. The fish-shaped body of the Merlion represents Singapore's past, and its lion's head represents the legendary lion discovered on the island which gave the city its name. We'd pre-booked tickets to some attractions at Gardens by the Bay, Singapore's futuristic urban park. Booking ahead is recommended at any time of year, although it wasn't hugely busy when we were there. We took a taxi to Gardens by the Bay early to give us time to familiarise ourselves. And amongst the first thing you see when you walk into the site is the super trees, access to which is free. They're man-made vertical gardens which are designed to behave like real trees. They're about 25 to 50 metres tall, made of steel and concrete, and they're covered in orchids, bromeliads and other plants. Even during the day when they're not lit, you can't fail to be impressed by the size of these constructions, immediately familiar and yet quite alien in appearance. We had some lunch. There are a number of food court style restaurants on the site, and then we headed towards the OCBC Skyway, 22-metre high platform suspended between two of the super trees, which we'd also pre-booked. Fortunately, we had to wait for about an hour, as due to a thunderstorm the platform was closed, and it does happen from time to time given the rainy climate in Singapore. When we eventually made it up, we could see right across Singapore, including the Marina Bay Sands Hotel and the Singapore Flyer, a giant observation deck Ferris wheel that stands 165 metres tall. Unfortunately, we didn't have time during our visit to explore this, maybe one for our next visit. Then we entered the Cloud Forest, a large climate-controlled greenhouse or conservatory, fitted with plants from tropical regions of the world, and featuring a 35-metre indoor waterfall. Visitors walk along an aerial walkway that gradually spirals up towards the top of the greenhouse. At the time of our visit, the Cloud Forest was hosting an exhibition called Jurassic World: The Experience. So it featured several animated dinosaurs, including a life-size T-Rex and Brachiosaur. The display was extremely well done, but the familiar Jurassic Park theme was playing on repeat throughout the visit, which did become a bit annoying after an hour or so of listening to it. After we'd been through the Cloud Forest, we moved on to the Flower Dome, which is the world's largest glass greenhouse and maintains a constant Mediterranean climate. There are changing attractions again in this space, and at the time of our visit there was a display called Alpine Adventure, featuring a replica Swiss chalet with displays of begonias, asters and salvias, as well as many other colourful flowers, making a breathtaking display. We headed back to the Super Tree Grove in the evening for one of the regular light shows known as Garden Rhapsody. These light shows take place every evening, but the times vary throughout the year. They make an amazing display, with the lights on the super trees glowing and pulsing in many different colours, all in time with themed music of the evening, which changes each day. The theme on the evening that we were there was the moon. We left Gardens by the Bay using the Mass Rapid Transit Underground System, MRT as it's known, which was full of TikTok dancers as we were walking through, which was quite entertaining, even though it did make it a little bit more difficult to navigate. You can just tap in and out of the stations you pass through using a contactless debit or credit card. The whole area was extremely clean and efficient and highly recommended as a way of travelling around Singapore. Very clean, well polished floors. Bleat about it. This is the Marina Bay Sands shopping, entertainment and hotel complex. We were here to visit the Sky Park some 55 stories above. Be aware that if, like us, you arrive early morning for a booking, there's nowhere to sit and the queue is outside in the heat and humidity, which is not that good. The views, as you will see, are spectacular though. Another point to be aware of here is that it's very open on the deck at the top. So if you suffer from vertigo, it might be a little scary, but it's still well worth it. To escape the heat, we dropped into the Art Science Museum just below. This is just a quick example of the superb sensory experience it has to offer, and it's well worth a visit. Finally, we had to pay a visit to see the Raffles Hotel. A short 10-minute walk from the City Hall MRT. It was well worth the effort to visit such an iconic landmark.